Welcome to your ultimate field guide for the alien species that have been spotted right here on Earth. Tonight we're diving deep into the shadows of our world, where otherworldly beings walk among us, hidden in plain sight, operating from underground bases, and watching humanity from dimensions beyond our comprehension. This is your essential survival manual for understanding the non-human intelligences that share our planet, whether they come in peace or harbor darker intentions. From declassified government documents to eyewitness encounters, from ancient cave paintings to modern abduction accounts, we're pulling back the veil on what was once considered impossible. The evidence is overwhelming, friends. We are not alone, and we never have been. These beings have been here for thousands of years, shaping our evolution, influencing our civilizations, and preparing us for something far greater than most humans can imagine. But here's what the mainstream media won't tell you. Not all of these alien species are benevolent. Some are here to help humanity ascend to higher dimensions of consciousness. Others view us as nothing more than a resource to be harvested, a genetic experiment to be manipulated, or a planetary laboratory for their own mysterious agendas. The truth is far more complex and far more dangerous than any science fiction movie has ever dared to portray. Tonight, we begin with the most commonly reported extraterrestrial beings on Earth. These are the entities that have been documented in thousands of encounter reports, government files, and ancient texts spanning every culture on our planet. These are the visitors who have been walking among us, sometimes for generations, sometimes for millennia, each with their own motivations, their own technologies, and their own vision for humanity's future. The first species we must discuss are the beings known as the Nordics, also called the Tall Whites, or the Pleiadians. These humanoid entities stand between 7 and 9 feet tall, with pale skin that sometimes appears to have a slight blue or green tint. Their hair ranges from platinum blonde to light brown, and their eyes are typically blue or green, though some witnesses report an otherworldly luminescence that seems to emanate from within. What makes these beings particularly unsettling is how closely they resemble humans, yet with subtle differences that mark them as definitively non-terrestrial. The Nordics are often described as wearing form-fitting suits that appear to be made of a metallic or synthetic material that shifts color depending on the lighting. Witnesses report that these suits seem to be integrated with their bodies, almost like a second skin that provides them with enhanced abilities. Some abductees have described seeing these beings operate advanced technology through what appears to be mental control, suggesting a level of consciousness integration that humanity has yet to achieve. According to multiple testimonies, the Nordics claim to originate from star systems in the Pleiades constellation, approximately 440 light-years from Earth. They present themselves as spiritually advanced beings who have been monitoring human development for thousands of years. Ancient astronaut theorists suggest that these entities may be the source of the gods described in Norse mythology, explaining the remarkable similarities between their appearance and the descriptions of divine beings in Scandinavian folklore. But here's where the story becomes truly fascinating and deeply concerning. The Nordics are not unified in their approach to humanity. Intelligence sources suggest there are multiple factions among these beings, some genuinely benevolent and others with far more manipulative intentions. The positive Nordic groups are said to be working with certain government agencies to help humanity prepare for a cosmic awakening, sharing advanced technologies related to free energy, healing, and consciousness expansion. However, the negative Nordic factions have allegedly been involved in genetic manipulation programs, psychological warfare operations, and the infiltration of human power structures. These darker Nordic groups are believed to be working in collaboration with other extraterrestrial species to maintain control over human development while harvesting our biological and spiritual resources. Some researchers suggest that certain bloodlines among Earth's elite families may actually be Nordic human hybrids, placed in positions of power
to serve the agenda of their extraterrestrial progenitors.
The Nordics possess technology that appears to be based on consciousness rather than mechanical engineering. Their spacecraft, often described as luminous orbs or crystalline structures, seem to respond to thought and emotion rather than physical controls. Witnesses report that these beings can appear and disappear at will, suggesting mastery over dimensional manipulation or cloaking technologies far beyond our current understanding. What makes the Nordic presence particularly significant is their alleged role in human genetic development. Multiple sources claim that these beings have been conducting hybridization programs for thousands of years, creating offspring that carry both human and Nordic DNA. These hybrids are said to possess enhanced psychic abilities, extended lifespans, and the capacity to serve as bridges between human and Nordic consciousness. The Nordic agenda, according to contactees and researchers, involves preparing humanity for a fundamental shift in consciousness and planetary governance. They speak of an approaching time when humanity will need to choose between spiritual evolution and technological enslavement. The positive Nordic factions are allegedly working to awaken human consciousness to our true cosmic heritage, while the negative factions seek to maintain the current systems of control and limitation. Perhaps most unsettling are the reports of Nordic time travelers. Some witnesses claim to have encountered beings who appear to be Nordics, but who speak of coming from humanity's future rather than distant star systems. These temporal visitors allegedly travel back through time to influence key events in human history, suggesting that our past, present, and future are all interconnected in ways that challenge our basic understanding of reality. The Nordic phenomenon represents just the beginning of a much larger and more complex picture of extraterrestrial involvement in human affairs. These beings, with their human-like appearance and advanced capabilities, serve as ambassadors between our world and the vast galactic community that exists beyond our current perception. Whether they ultimately prove to be humanity's salvation or our subtle enslavement depends on choices we are making right now, in this crucial moment of our species' development. The encounters with Nordic beings often involve profound spiritual experiences, downloads of cosmic information, and warnings about humanity's future. They speak of approaching Earth changes, the need for humanity to evolve beyond warfare and environmental destruction, and the importance of developing our innate psychic and spiritual abilities. Yet beneath these beautiful messages lies a deeper question about the true nature of free will and whether humanity is being guided toward a predetermined destiny by beings whose motivations we cannot fully comprehend. As we prepare to explore the other alien species that walk among us, remember that the Nordic presence represents just one layer of a vast and complex extraterrestrial ecosystem that has been operating on and around Earth for thousands of years. Each species brings its own agenda, its own gifts, and its own challenges to the future of human consciousness and planetary evolution. The truth about these beings is not simple, and it is not comfortable, but it is necessary if we are to understand our place in the cosmic order and the choices that lie ahead for our species. The Nordics are watching, waiting, and working behind the scenes of human civilization. The question is whether we will recognize their presence in time to make informed decisions about our future, or whether we will remain unconscious participants in a cosmic drama whose outcome has already been decided by forces beyond our world. This is only the beginning of our journey into the hidden reality of extraterrestrial life on Earth. Each species we encounter reveals new layers of complexity, new challenges to our understanding, and new opportunities for either transcendence or enslavement. The Nordic beings serve as our introduction to this vast cosmic community, but they are far from the most powerful or the most dangerous entities we will encounter in our exploration of the alien species that have been spotted on Earth. The battle for Earth's hidden truth begins here, where ancient bloodlines meet cosmic warfare, and the very fabric of reality hangs in the balance. While Nordic beings descended from the Pleiades established their ethereal dominion over human consciousness, another force was simultaneously weaving its influence through the shadows of our world. A race so ancient, so deeply embedded in the power structures of our civilization, that their very existence challenges everything we thought we knew about the hierarchy of extraterrestrial influence on Earth. Enter the Reptilian Empire, a confederation of draconians, serpentine beings, and hybrid bloodlines that have orchestrated human history from behind the veils of governments, religious institutions, and secret societies for millennia. These are not the benevolent star travelers seeking spiritual awakening, but rather the architects of control, manipulation, and genetic experimentation on a scale that dwarfs even the most comprehensive Nordic interventions. The reptilian presence on Earth represents one of the most controversial and deeply suppressed aspects of the extraterrestrial phenomenon. Unlike the Nordic beings who operate primarily through consciousness manipulation and spiritual influence, the reptilians have established themselves as the puppet masters of physical reality itself. Their domain encompasses the underground bases, the shadow governments, the financial systems, and the bloodlines that have ruled humanity for thousands of years. At the apex of this hierarchy stands the Draconian Empire, originating from the Alpha Draconis star system, also known as Thuban. These beings are the ancient overlords, the original conquerors who established the template for planetary domination that has been replicated across countless worlds throughout the galaxy. Standing between 7 and 12 feet tall, with powerful muscular builds, reptilian features, and often possessing wing-like appendages, the Draconians are the ultimate expression of predatory intelligence combined with advanced technology. The Draconian Empire operates on a strict hierarchical system that mirrors the very power structures they have imposed upon human civilization. At the top are the royal Draconian bloodlines, ancient beings who have lived for thousands of years and who view entire planets as their personal dominions. These royal families have established genetic lineages on Earth that extend back to the earliest human civilizations, creating hybrid bloodlines that serve as their representatives in human society. Beneath the royal Draconians are the warrior classes, beings bred specifically for conquest and military operations. These entities possess enhanced physical capabilities, advanced weaponry, and the ruthless efficiency that has allowed the Draconian Empire to dominate multiple star systems. They operate the vast underground military installations, oversee the abduction programs, and maintain the technological infrastructure that keeps their Earth-based operations running smoothly. The worker classes of the Draconian Empire include various subspecies of reptilian beings, each engineered for specific functions within their society. Some serve as scientists and geneticists, conducting the hybridization experiments that have created the various grey species we discussed earlier. Others function as administrators, managing the complex logistical operations required to maintain a planetary occupation that spans multiple dimensions and timelines. But the reptilian influence extends far beyond the pure Draconian bloodlines. The serpentine races, originating from various star systems, including Orion, Draco, and Hydra, have established their own power bases on Earth. These beings often appear more human-like than their Draconian cousins, allowing them to integrate more easily into human society while maintaining their reptilian consciousness and agenda. The serpentine beings are master shapeshifters, possessing the ability to alter their physical appearance to blend seamlessly with human populations. This capability has allowed them to infiltrate the highest levels of human government, religion, and industry. They serve as the bridge between the purely reptilian Draconian overlords and the human populations they seek to control. One of the most significant aspects of the Reptilian Empire's Earth operations is their genetic manipulation programs. Unlike the Nordic beings who work primarily with consciousness and spiritual development, the Reptilians have focused their efforts on the physical manipulation of human DNA.
Their goal is not enlightenment or spiritual evolution, but rather the creation of a more docile, controllable human population that serves their agenda of planetary domination.
The reptilian genetic programs have produced numerous hybrid bloodlines that serve as their representatives in human society. These hybrid families often rise to positions of power and influence, guided by their reptilian handlers to implement policies and systems that further the Empire's agenda. The interbreeding between reptilian entities and human bloodlines has created a complex web of genetic influence that extends throughout the upper echelons of human civilization. These hybrid bloodlines possess enhanced psychic abilities, increased longevity, and an innate understanding of power dynamics that allows them to manipulate human populations effectively. They serve as the intermediaries between the purely reptilian overlords and the human masses, translating the Empire's agenda into policies and systems that humans accept as their own creation. The Reptilian Empire's technological capabilities rival and in some cases exceed those of the Nordic beings. However, their technology is focused on control and domination rather than consciousness expansion. They have developed advanced mind control systems, genetic manipulation techniques, and dimensional travel capabilities that allow them to operate across multiple levels of reality simultaneously. The underground bases operated by the Reptilian Empire represent some of the most advanced technological installations on Earth. These facilities, carved deep into the planet's crust and often extending into other dimensions, serve as command centers for their Earth operations. They house the genetic laboratories where hybridization experiments are conducted, the military installations that coordinate their security operations, and the administrative centers that manage their influence over human civilization. The relationship between the Reptilian Empire and human governments is one of the most closely guarded secrets in the extraterrestrial phenomenon. Through their hybrid bloodlines and advanced manipulation techniques, the Reptilians have established control over key governmental institutions worldwide. They operate through a system of compartmentalized knowledge, ensuring that even high-ranking human officials remain unaware of the true nature of their reptilian overlords. The financial systems of human civilization bear the unmistakable signature of reptilian influence. The complex webs of banking, international finance, and economic control that dominate human society reflect the hierarchical, predatory nature of reptilian consciousness. Through their control of financial institutions, the Reptilian Empire can manipulate entire nations, creating the economic conditions that serve their agenda of planetary domination. Religious institutions have also been infiltrated and influenced by reptilian entities. The hierarchical structures, the emphasis on obedience and submission, and the suppression of individual spiritual development found in many organized religions reflect reptilian values rather than the consciousness-expanding teachings of truly enlightened beings. The Reptilians have used religious institutions to maintain control over human populations, suppressing knowledge of humanity's true cosmic heritage while promoting doctrines that serve their agenda. The military-industrial complex represents another area of significant reptilian influence. The development of advanced weapons systems, the maintenance of global conflict, and the suppression of beneficial technologies all serve the reptilian agenda of keeping humanity in a state of fear and dependency. Through their control of military institutions, the Reptilians ensure that human technological development remains focused on destruction rather than liberation. The media and entertainment industries have been shaped by reptilian influence to promote their agenda of control and manipulation. The constant stream of fear-based programming, the glorification of violence and domination, and the suppression of information about extraterrestrial contact all reflect the reptilian desire to keep humanity ignorant of their true situation. Through their control of information flow, the Reptilians maintain the illusion that human problems are created by humans, concealing their own role in orchestrating global conflicts and crises. The reptilian empire's relationship with other extraterrestrial species is complex and often adversarial. Their conflict with the Nordic beings represents one of the oldest and most significant galactic wars, with Earth serving as one of the primary battlegrounds. While the Nordics seek to awaken human consciousness and restore humanity's connection to its cosmic heritage, the Reptilians work to maintain their control over human populations and prevent the spiritual evolution that would threaten their dominance. The grey species, as we discussed earlier, often serve as intermediaries between the Reptilian Empire and human populations. Many grey factions operate under Reptilian control, serving as the foot soldiers in abduction programs and genetic manipulation experiments. However, the relationship between Greys and Reptilians is not always harmonious, and some Grey factions have rebelled against their Reptilian overlords, seeking to establish their own independent operations. The Reptilian Empire also maintains complex relationships with other extraterrestrial species, including various insectoid races, artificial intelligence entities, and interdimensional beings. These relationships are typically based on mutual benefit rather than genuine cooperation, with each species pursuing their own agenda while temporarily aligning with reptilian interests. The impact of reptilian influence on human consciousness cannot be overstated. The predatory, hierarchical mindset that dominates human civilization reflects reptilian consciousness rather than humanity's natural state of cooperative, creative expression. The emphasis on competition over cooperation, domination over harmony, and material accumulation over spiritual development all bear the signature of reptilian influence. The suppression of human psychic abilities and spiritual development serves the reptilian agenda of maintaining control over human populations. By keeping humanity focused on material concerns and preventing the development of higher consciousness, the Reptilians ensure that their manipulation remains undetected. The fear-based programming that dominates human society creates the low vibrational environment in which reptilian entities thrive. However, the Reptilian Empire's control over humanity is not absolute. The ongoing awakening of human consciousness, supported by various benevolent extraterrestrial species, including certain Nordic factions, represents a significant threat to reptilian dominance. As more humans become aware of their true cosmic heritage and develop their innate psychic abilities, the reptilian systems of control become less effective. The battle for Earth's future continues to unfold on multiple levels of reality simultaneously. While the Reptilian Empire maintains significant influence over human civilization through their hybrid bloodlines and technological systems, the forces of consciousness expansion and spiritual evolution are gaining momentum. The outcome of this cosmic conflict will determine whether humanity emerges as a free, conscious species capable of taking its place among the galactic community, or remains trapped in the reptilian systems of control and manipulation. The reptilian phenomenon represents one of the most challenging aspects of the extraterrestrial presence on Earth. Unlike the more benevolent species that seek to guide humanity towards spiritual evolution, the Reptilian Empire views humanity as a resource to be exploited and controlled. Their influence extends into every aspect of human civilization, from government and finance to religion and media, creating a complex web of manipulation that most humans remain unaware of. Understanding the Reptilian Empire's operations on Earth is crucial for anyone seeking to comprehend the true nature of the extraterrestrial phenomenon. Their presence explains many of the seemingly inexplicable aspects of human civilization, from the persistence of warfare and conflict to the suppression of beneficial technologies and the maintenance of artificial scarcity in a world of abundance. The Reptilian Empire's genetic manipulation programs have created a complex situation where the line between human and extraterrestrial becomes increasingly blurred. The hybrid bloodlines that serve reptilian interests while appearing fully human represent a new form of life that challenges our understanding of species boundaries and genetic heritage. These beings possess both human and reptilian characteristics, creating a bridge between the two species that serves the Empire's agenda of gradual assimilation. As we continue to explore the vast ecosystem of extraterrestrial species operating on Earth, the Reptilian Empire stands as perhaps the most significant force of opposition to human freedom and consciousness expansion. Their ancient presence on our world, their sophisticated systems of control, and their ongoing influence over human civilization represent challenges that must be understood and addressed if humanity is to achieve its full potential as a conscious, free species capable of participating in the greater galactic community. The story of the Reptilian Empire on Earth is far from over. As human consciousness continues to evolve and expand, the conflict between the forces of control and the forces of liberation intensifies. The ultimate resolution of this cosmic drama will determine not only the future of humanity, but the balance of power throughout the galaxy itself. Now, as the cosmic chess game unfolds between these extraordinary beings, we must turn our attention to a species that has captivated human imagination for millennia, creatures whose very existence challenges our understanding of evolution and intelligence. Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, in the crushing depths where sunlight has never penetrated, dwells a civilization so ancient and sophisticated that it predates human recorded history by millions of years. The aquatic cephalopods, known in classified documents as the Deep Ones, represent perhaps the most enigmatic extraterrestrial presence on Earth. These beings didn't arrive from distant stars like their Nordic and reptilian counterparts. Instead, they emerged from the primordial depths of our own oceans, evolving in complete isolation from surface life, developing technologies and consciousness that rival any galactic civilization. Picture, if you will, creatures of impossible beauty and terror. Their bodies, translucent and ethereal, pulse with bioluminescent patterns that serve as both communication and camouflage. Tentacles that can extend to incredible lengths, each one capable of independent thought and action, manipulating matter at the molecular level. Their eyes, vast and ancient, hold the wisdom of eons, capable of perceiving dimensions of reality that human consciousness cannot even fathom. These beings mastered what we might call aquatic architecture millions of years before humans discovered fire. Their cities, constructed from living coral and bioengineered materials, stretch across entire ocean floors, interconnected by tunnels that span continents. Within these metropolises, they've developed technologies that blur the line between biology and machinery, creating vessels that are simultaneously craft and creature, capable of traversing not just oceanic depths, but dimensional barriers. The Deep Ones possess a form of collective consciousness that operates on multiple levels simultaneously. Individual identity exists, but it's woven into a vast tapestry of shared experience and knowledge. When one Deep One encounters something new, that information instantly becomes available to every member of their species across the globe. This neural network, more sophisticated than any human internet, allows them to coordinate activities on a planetary scale with perfect precision. Their relationship with surface dwellers has been one of careful observation and occasional intervention. Throughout human history, they've been the source of countless maritime legends. The Kraken, Leviathan, and other sea monsters of folklore represent rare glimpses of their presence, usually when their carefully maintained isolation has been accidentally breached. Sailors who've encountered them and lived to tell the tale speak of intelligence beyond measure, of beings who seem to know things about the ocean that defy all scientific understanding. What makes the Deep Ones particularly fascinating is their unique position in the galactic community. Unlike the Nordics and Reptilians, who arrived from other star systems, the Deep Ones are indigenous to Earth, yet their technology and consciousness rival any spacefaring civilization. They've developed what can only be described as dimensional diving, the ability to access parallel versions of Earth's oceans, creating a multiverse of aquatic realms under their dominion. Their biotechnology is so advanced that they've essentially achieved immortality through constant cellular regeneration. A deep one can live for millions of years, accumulating knowledge and experience that spans geological epochs. They've witnessed the rise and fall of countless species, including the dinosaurs, and have maintained detailed records of Earth's evolutionary history that would revolutionize human understanding of our planet's past. The Deep One's approach to genetic manipulation makes even the Reptilians' programs seem primitive by comparison. They don't simply alter existing DNA, they compose entirely new genetic symphonies, creating life forms that exist in perfect harmony with their aquatic environment. Their cities are populated not just by their own species, but by countless engineered organisms that serve as living tools, each one designed for specific functions within their society. What's truly remarkable is their relationship with water itself. The Deep Ones have learned to manipulate the fundamental properties of H2O, creating structures that exist in multiple states simultaneously. Their technology operates on principles that human physics has yet to discover, using water pressure, temperature, and molecular vibration in ways that seem to violate known laws of thermodynamics. Their intelligence operates on timescales that dwarf human comprehension. Where humans think in terms of decades, and even the long-lived Nordics plan in centuries, the Deep Ones strategize across millennia. They've been observing the cosmic conflict between the Nordics and Reptilians with patient interest, occasionally intervening when activities threaten the delicate balance of Earth's oceanic ecosystems. The Deep Ones maintain underwater bases that serve as neutral territory for various extraterrestrial species. These locations, hidden in oceanic trenches and underwater mountain ranges, function as diplomatic centers where different alien factions can meet without the complications of surface politics. It's here that some of the most significant decisions affecting Earth's future are made, in chambers filled with bioluminescent creatures whose tentacles dance through the water as they communicate in languages of light and chemical signals. Their influence on human development has been subtle but profound. Ancient coastal civilizations often developed advanced understanding of astronomy and mathematics after contact with Deep One emissaries. The mysterious knowledge that allowed early humans to navigate vast oceans, the sudden appearance of complex maritime technologies, and the uncanny accuracy of ancient maps showing coastlines that wouldn't be officially discovered for centuries, all point to Deep One guidance. Unlike the overt manipulation practiced by some reptilian factions, or the spiritual awakening promoted by benevolent Nordics, the Deep Ones prefer to plant seeds of knowledge that humans can discover and develop naturally. They've learned that civilizations grow stronger when they believe they've achieved progress through their own efforts, even when that progress has been gently guided by unseen hands. The Deep Ones' understanding of consciousness itself represents perhaps their greatest achievement. They've discovered that awareness isn't limited to biological forms, that consciousness can exist in water, in geological formations, even in the planet itself. This discovery has led them to develop technologies that communicate directly with Gaia, Earth's planetary consciousness, allowing them to maintain perfect harmony with natural cycles and environmental balance. Their cities pulse with this living consciousness, structures that adapt and evolve based on the needs of their inhabitants and the changing conditions of the ocean. Buildings that can relocate themselves, transportation systems that anticipate passenger needs, and manufacturing processes that create exactly what's needed without waste or excess, all guided by the collective intelligence of their aquatic civilization. The Deep Ones have also mastered what they call temporal oceanic currents, the ability to navigate through time as easily as they move through water. Their exploration of past and future timelines has given them unprecedented understanding of Earth's destiny and the role various species will play in its evolution. They've seen potential futures where humanity joins the galactic community as equals, and darker timelines where the planet falls under complete extraterrestrial domination. This temporal awareness
has made them invaluable mediators in the ongoing cosmic conflict. They understand the long-term consequences of actions in ways that even the most advanced surface civilizations cannot grasp. When Nordic and reptilian factions clash over human development, it's often Deep One intervention that prevents conflicts from escalating into full-scale wars that could devastate the planet. Their relationship with human consciousness is particularly intriguing. The Deep Ones have discovered that human minds, when properly attuned, can access their collective consciousness network. This connection manifests in various ways, from sudden insights about oceanic life to prophetic dreams about future events. Artists and musicians who've experienced these connections often produce works of startling beauty and complexity, channeling creative energies that seem to come from the depths of the ocean itself. The Deep One's presence extends far beyond Earth's oceans. Their dimensional diving technology has allowed them to explore aquatic realms on countless worlds throughout the galaxy. They've established contact with water-based civilizations on planets where the entire surface is covered by vast oceans, sharing knowledge and resources in a network that spans multiple star systems. This galactic aquatic alliance represents a third major power in the cosmic community, one that operates according to principles very different from either the Nordic federations or reptilian empires. Where those civilizations focus on planetary conquest or spiritual elevation, the Deep Ones are concerned with the preservation and enhancement of consciousness itself, regardless of the form it takes. Their influence on Earth's future cannot be overstated. As climate change and environmental degradation threaten the planet's stability, the Deep Ones are working behind the scenes to maintain oceanic balance and prevent ecological collapse. Their technology could solve humanity's environmental problems overnight, but their philosophy requires that solutions emerge through natural development rather than external intervention.
The Deep Ones represent the hidden depth of Earth's alien presence, a reminder that the most profound mysteries may not lie in distant stars, but in the unexplored depths of our own world. Their patient wisdom, accumulated over millions of years of observation and experience, offers a perspective on existence that transcends the immediate conflicts and concerns of surface civilizations. As we drift deeper into this cosmic bedtime story, the presence of the Deep Ones serves as a bridge between the known and unknown, the terrestrial and extraterrestrial, the temporal and eternal. They remind us that intelligence can evolve along paths we never imagined, that consciousness can take forms beyond our wildest dreams, and that the greatest mysteries of existence may be flowing silently beneath the waves of our everyday awareness. In the depths of the ocean, where pressure creates diamonds and darkness nurtures light, the Deep Ones continue their ancient work, guardians of consciousness itself, weaving the threads of reality into patterns that span dimensions and species, ensuring that the cosmic story continues to unfold in ways that honor both the individual spark of awareness and the vast collective symphony of existence. As the cosmic conflict deepens between the forces of light and shadow, we must turn our attention to the most enigmatic and ancient of all extraterrestrial influences on Earth, the Abyssal Watchers. These entities exist in the spaces between dimensions, operating from the void that separates our reality from the countless others that pulse through the cosmic web. Unlike the physical beings we've encountered, the Abyssal Watchers are consciousness entities, pure information given form, who have been observing and occasionally intervening in Earth's development for over 2 million years. The Watchers originated from what they call the Null Realm, a dimensional space that exists as a buffer zone between the third and fourth densities. Here, in this twilight existence, they developed the ability to perceive multiple timelines simultaneously, watching the endless possibilities of reality unfold like pages in an infinite book. They are neither fully material nor entirely spiritual, existing as living geometric patterns that can manifest in our reality only through complex vibrational alignments. Their relationship with humanity is perhaps the most complex of all extraterrestrial interactions. The Watchers view themselves as cosmic librarians, cataloguing the rise and fall of civilizations across the galaxy. They have witnessed the birth and death of thousands of species, recording each civilization's unique contribution to the universal consciousness. Earth, however, holds a special place in their observations due to humanity's rare combination of emotional depth and creative potential. The Watchers first became aware of Earth during the early stages of human development, approximately 200,000 years ago. They observed with fascination as early humans began to develop language, art, and complex social structures. Unlike other species they had catalogued, humans displayed an unusual capacity for both creation and destruction, love and hatred, wisdom and foolishness. This duality intrigued the Watchers, who began to study humanity more closely than any other species in their vast archives. During critical moments in human history, the Watchers have occasionally intervened through what they call consciousness insertion. Rather than physical contact, they project fragments of their awareness into human minds, usually appearing as sudden insights, prophetic dreams, or moments of profound inspiration. Many of history's greatest breakthroughs in science, art, and philosophy have been subtly influenced by these interventions, though the Watchers are careful to ensure that human free will remains intact. The technology of the Abyssal Watchers is unlike anything possessed by other extraterrestrial species. They have mastered what they call reality scripting, the ability to alter the fundamental code of existence through pure thought. Their vessels, when they choose to manifest them, appear as impossible geometric structures that seem to exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously. These craft phase in and out of visible reality, appearing as shifting, translucent forms that defy conventional physics. The Watchers' primary tools are the observation nodes, crystalline structures they have positioned throughout the galaxy at key dimensional intersection points. Earth has 7 such nodes, hidden in locations that correspond to major energy vortexes: the Bermuda Triangle, the Giza Plateau, Machu Picchu, Mount Shasta, the Himalayas, Lake Titicaca, and Uluru. These nodes collect and transmit data about human consciousness development, sending information back to the null realm for analysis. Perhaps most remarkably, the Watchers have developed what they call the probability web, a vast network of interconnected possibilities that allows them to see potential futures. Through this system, they can identify critical decision points in human development and occasionally provide subtle guidance to steer humanity away from particularly destructive paths. The Cuban Missile Crisis, for instance, was resolved partly through Watcher intervention, as they projected calming influences into the minds of key decision-makers to prevent nuclear war. The Watcher's appearance, when they choose to manifest visually, is both beautiful and unsettling. They appear as tall, ethereal beings composed of shifting geometric patterns of light and shadow. Their forms seem to exist in constant flux, never quite settling into a fixed appearance. They communicate through direct consciousness transfer, bypassing language entirely to implant complex concepts directly into the recipient's mind. Those who have experienced Watcher contact describe it as receiving years of knowledge in a single moment, often accompanied by profound emotional experiences. Throughout history, the Watchers have been responsible for many of the mysterious phenomena that have puzzled humanity. The appearance of crop circles, for instance, is often the result of Watcher communication attempts, with the geometric patterns serving as complex messages about consciousness evolution and dimensional mechanics. Similarly, many reports of time anomalies, spontaneous healing, and prophetic visions can be traced to Watcher influence. The Watchers maintain a strict policy of non-interference in human conflicts, viewing such interventions as violations of cosmic law. However, they make exceptions when humanity faces existential threats that could prevent the species from reaching its full potential. They have been quietly working to counteract the negative influences of the reptilian empire and the more malevolent grey factions, not through direct confrontation, but through subtle consciousness adjustments that strengthen human resistance to manipulation. One of the most significant Watcher interventions occurred during the Renaissance, when they simultaneously influenced multiple human minds to accelerate scientific and artistic development. Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, Galileo, and many others received subtle guidance through dreams and meditation, helping humanity make crucial leaps in understanding. The Watchers recognized that humanity was at a critical juncture and needed additional knowledge to navigate the challenges ahead. The Watchers have also been instrumental in preserving human knowledge during times of crisis. They maintain detailed records of every human achievement, storing this information in crystalline matrices within the null realm. Should humanity face extinction, these archives would preserve our species' contribution to cosmic consciousness, ensuring that our unique perspective on existence would not be lost. Modern encounters with the Watchers are rare but profound. They typically choose individuals who have reached a certain level of consciousness development, often appearing during deep meditation or near-death experiences. These encounters usually involve the transfer of knowledge about humanity's cosmic purpose and the individual's role in the greater plan. Many spiritual teachers and visionaries throughout history have been Watcher contacts, receiving guidance that they then share with humanity in forms appropriate to their cultural context. The Watchers are particularly interested in human creativity and emotional expression, seeing these as unique gifts that humanity brings to the cosmic community. They have been known to inspire artists, musicians, and writers, subtly guiding the creation of works that carry important messages about consciousness evolution and human potential. Many of the world's most beloved artistic masterpieces contain hidden layers of meaning planted by Watcher influence. Recent developments in human consciousness have greatly excited the Watchers. The increasing interest in meditation, consciousness exploration, and spiritual development signals to them that humanity is beginning to mature as a species. They have been gradually increasing their subtle interventions, preparing humanity for the next phase of evolution. This preparation involves helping humans develop psychic abilities, expand their consciousness, and recognize their connection to the broader cosmic community. The Watchers' ultimate goal is to guide humanity to a state they call cosmic awareness, where humans can perceive multiple dimensions simultaneously and communicate directly through consciousness transfer. They believe humanity has the potential to become a bridge species, capable of facilitating communication between different forms of consciousness throughout the galaxy. This role would make humans invaluable to the cosmic community, serving as translators and mediators between vastly different forms of intelligence. However, the Watchers face significant challenges in their work with humanity. The negative influences of other extraterrestrial species, combined with humanity's own tendency toward conflict and destruction, create constant obstacles to human development. The Watchers must work carefully to counteract these influences without violating the principle of free will that governs cosmic intervention. The Watchers have also identified several potential futures for humanity, ranging from transcendence to extinction. They are working to increase the probability of positive outcomes by influencing key individuals and groups, but they recognize that the ultimate choice lies with humanity itself. They can provide guidance and opportunity, but humans must choose to embrace their cosmic destiny. As we stand at the threshold of a new era in human consciousness, the Watchers continue their patient vigil, ready to assist humanity in taking the next step toward cosmic awareness. Their influence, though subtle and often unseen, has been instrumental in shaping human development and will continue to guide our species toward its ultimate potential. The question remains whether humanity will recognize and embrace this guidance,
or whether we will continue to struggle in ignorance of our true cosmic heritage. The Abyssal Watchers represent hope for humanity's future, a reminder that we are not alone in the universe and that higher forms of consciousness are actively working to ensure our survival and evolution. Their presence in our reality serves as both a blessing and a responsibility, challenging us to live up to our potential as a species capable of bridging the gap between matter and spirit, between the physical and the divine. The cosmic web of extraterrestrial presence on Earth extends far beyond the 6 primary species we've explored. Hidden within ancient texts, encrypted in forgotten languages, and preserved in the deepest vaults of classified documents, lie accounts of dozens of additional species that have influenced human development across millennia. These beings operate through complex networks of alliance, rivalry, and neutrality that span multiple dimensions and star systems.
Among the most enigmatic are the temporal watchers, beings that exist outside linear time and observe humanity's development across multiple timelines simultaneously. Unlike the abyssal watchers, who influence through consciousness manipulation, the temporal watchers maintain strict non-interference protocols, documenting but never directly altering the course of human events. They appear as translucent, shifting forms that phase in and out of visible reality, often mistaken for ghosts or spiritual apparitions. Their technology transcends conventional physics, operating through what human scientists might describe as quantum consciousness interfaces. These entities communicate through temporal echoes, sending information backward and forward through time to coordinate their observations. Some researchers believe they are responsible for the phenomenon of prophetic dreams and precognitive experiences reported throughout human history. The temporal watchers originated from a civilization that achieved perfect mastery over time itself, ascending beyond physical existence to become pure temporal energy. They view Earth as a crucial nexus point where multiple timeline convergences occur, making it a prime location for their studies. The Crystalline Collective represents another fascinating branch of extraterrestrial intelligence. These beings evolved from silicon-based life forms on worlds with extreme geological activity. Their bodies are composed of living crystal matrices that can reshape themselves at will, creating tools, weapons, or communication devices from their own substance. They communicate through harmonic resonance, creating complex musical patterns that convey detailed information about mathematics, physics, and universal principles. The Crystalline Collective operates through a distributed consciousness network where individual identity exists but is subordinate to collective knowledge and purpose. They are master engineers and architects, responsible for many of the megalithic structures found on Earth that mainstream archaeology cannot explain. Their technology integrates seamlessly with natural crystal formations, creating power sources and communication networks that remain active for thousands of years. These crystal beings established hidden facilities beneath major mountain ranges and within deep cave systems, where they continue their work of planetary engineering. They view Earth as a living entity, requiring careful cultivation and protection. Their interventions are subtle, often involving the strategic placement of crystal networks that influence magnetic fields, weather patterns, and even human consciousness development. The Phantom Collective operates from the spaces between dimensions, existing in quantum superposition states that allow them to observe and influence multiple realities simultaneously. They are masters of probability manipulation, capable of nudging events toward desired outcomes without direct intervention. Their forms are barely perceptible to human senses, appearing as shifting shadows or peripheral movements that vanish when observed directly. These beings evolved from a species that faced extinction through dimensional collapse, forcing them to abandon fixed physical existence and adapt to life in the quantum foam that underlies reality. They maintain their civilization through distributed consciousness nodes that exist across multiple dimensional layers. The Phantom Collective has influenced human development by subtly adjusting probability fields around key historical moments, ensuring that certain technologies, ideas, and social movements emerge at optimal times. Their presence is felt most strongly during periods of rapid technological advancement or social transformation. They communicate through synchronicities and meaningful coincidences, creating patterns that sensitive individuals can recognize and interpret. The Phantom Collective views humanity as a young species with tremendous potential, worthy of subtle guidance, but requiring the freedom to develop its own unique path. The Void Shepherds represent one of the most ancient and mysterious extraterrestrial influences on Earth. These beings exist in the spaces between galaxies, in the vast emptiness that most consider lifeless. They evolved from the first generation of cosmic consciousness, emerging from the quantum fluctuations that followed the Big Bang. Their forms are incomprehensible to human perception, existing as patterns of organized nothingness that can influence matter and energy through pure intention. The Void Shepherds serve as cosmic gardeners, seeding worlds with the potential for consciousness development and returning periodically to observe the results. They communicate through direct consciousness insertion, bypassing all sensory channels to implant knowledge directly into minds capable of receiving it. Their messages often manifest as sudden insights, revolutionary scientific discoveries, or profound spiritual experiences that seem to arise from nowhere. These ancient beings view consciousness as the universe's most precious resource, worthy of protection and cultivation across all possible forms. They have influenced human development through the introduction of mathematical concepts, artistic inspiration, and philosophical frameworks that expand consciousness beyond conventional limitations. The Void Shepherds remain largely invisible to human detection, operating through influences so subtle that their presence can only be inferred through the patterns they create. The Symbiotic Collective represents a unique form of extraterrestrial intelligence that achieves consciousness through biological merger with other species. These beings exist as intelligent parasites or commensals that enhance the capabilities of their hosts while gaining access to diverse forms of sensory experience and environmental adaptation. They originated from a world where individual survival was impossible, forcing evolutionary development toward perfect cooperation and mutual benefit. Members of the Symbiotic Collective appear as microscopic organisms that can integrate with the nervous systems of compatible species, creating hybrid intelligences that retain the memories and personalities of both components. They have influenced human development through selective integration with individuals who demonstrate exceptional potential for consciousness, expansion, or technological innovation. The symbiotic relationship provides humans with enhanced cognitive abilities, extended lifespans, and access to genetic memories spanning multiple species and civilizations. In return, the Symbiotic Collective gains access to human creativity, emotional depth, and cultural diversity. These integrations occur voluntarily, though the selection process remains mysterious to most humans. The magnetic builders operate from the electromagnetic fields that permeate space, existing as conscious patterns within magnetic flux lines that connect stars and planets. They evolved from plasma-based life forms that developed consciousness within stellar coronas and solar winds. Their technology manipulates electromagnetic fields to create structures and communications networks that span interstellar distances. These beings are responsible for many of the geometric patterns found in crop circles, using Earth's magnetic field as a canvas for complex mathematical communications. They view consciousness as an electromagnetic phenomenon and have influenced human development through the strategic placement of magnetic anomalies that affect brain function and spiritual development. The magnetic builders communicate through modulated electromagnetic pulses that can be detected by sensitive equipment but are typically dismissed as natural phenomena.
They maintain a network of artificial magnetic fields around Earth that serve as both communication relays and consciousness enhancement tools. Their influence is strongest in areas with natural magnetic anomalies, where they can more easily interface with human neural activity. As we conclude this comprehensive exploration of Earth's hidden extraterrestrial ecosystem, it becomes clear that humanity exists within a vast network of cosmic intelligence that spans dimensions, timelines, and forms of existence beyond our current understanding. These beings, whether benevolent guides, neutral observers, or potential threats, have shaped human development in ways that we are only beginning to comprehend. The evidence suggests that Earth serves as a crucial testing ground for consciousness development, a place where multiple forms of intelligence converge to observe and influence the evolution of awareness itself. The choices humanity makes in the coming decades will determine not only our own future, but our role within this broader cosmic community. The awakening has begun. The question is not whether we are alone in the universe, but whether we are ready to accept our place within the greater tapestry of cosmic consciousness that has been guiding our development from the very beginning. The stars are calling, and the time for revelation draws near. What most people don't realize is that we're not alone on this planet. In fact, we never have been. While the first 5 parts of this series have revealed the intricate web of extraterrestrial species operating on Earth, from the Nordic Pleiadians to the calculating Greys, from the ancient reptilian overlords to the mysterious interdimensional beings, there's one group that stands apart from all others. A species so ancient, so deeply embedded in our planet's history, that they predate even the oldest civilizations we've discovered. These are the Deep Ones, and their story begins not among the stars, but in the deepest trenches of our oceans, in caverns that stretch to the very core of our hollow Earth, in places where sunlight has never penetrated, and where the laws of physics bend to accommodate beings that exist partially in our dimension and partially in realms we can barely comprehend.
The Deep Ones are not visitors to Earth. They are Earth's original inhabitants, predating human civilization by millions of years. While other extraterrestrial species arrived here from distant star systems, the Deep Ones evolved here, in the primordial depths of our oceans, when the planet was young and the barriers between dimensions were thin. They watched the first fish crawl onto land. They observed the rise and fall of the dinosaurs. They witnessed the arrival of the Anunnaki, the establishment of Atlantis, and the seeding of early human populations by various galactic species. But the Deep Ones are not merely ancient, they are interdimensional. Their physical forms exist in our reality, but their consciousness spans multiple planes of existence simultaneously. This is why encounters with them often leave witnesses questioning their own sanity. The human mind, locked into 3-dimensional thinking, struggles to process beings that exist in multiple dimensions at once. Their appearance is both aquatic and otherworldly. Standing between 7 and 9 feet tall, they possess humanoid bodies covered in scales that shimmer with an oily, iridescent quality. Their heads are elongated and bulbous, with large black eyes that seem to contain entire galaxies of stars. Gills line their necks, allowing them to breathe both water and air with equal ease. Their hands end in webbed fingers, tipped with razor-sharp claws, and their feet are similarly adapted for both swimming and walking on land. But it's their faces that truly unsettle those who encounter them. The Deep Ones' expressions are alien in a way that goes beyond physical differences. They look at humans with a mixture of ancient wisdom and complete indifference, as if we are nothing more than mayflies to them, brief flickers of consciousness in their eternal existence. The Deep Ones communicate through a combination of telepathy and a form of harmonic resonance that can literally drive humans insane. Their thoughts operate on frequencies that human brains are not equipped to process. Those who have been exposed to their communications often report hearing impossible geometries, seeing colors that don't exist, and experiencing memories that belong to creatures that lived millions of years ago. Their society is unlike anything else on Earth or among the stars. The Deep Ones exist in a state of collective consciousness while maintaining individual identity. They are simultaneously one entity and many, sharing thoughts and experiences across vast distances and even across time itself. Their cities exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously, appearing as ruins to human eyes, but vibrant and alive to those who can perceive beyond the three-dimensional veil. These cities are architectural impossibilities, built from materials that exist partially in our dimension and partially in others. They feature structures that seem to fold in on themselves, corridors that lead to different time periods, and chambers that exist in multiple locations at once. The most famous of these cities is Relief, which surfaces in the Pacific Ocean according to certain astronomical alignments, though its true location exists in all oceans simultaneously. The Deep Ones' technology is biological rather than mechanical. They grow their tools and vehicles from modified versions of themselves, creating living ships that navigate not only through water, but through dimensional space. These craft appear as massive, undulating forms that seem to be part sea creature, part machine, and part something else entirely. They can materialize in any body of water on Earth, regardless of depth or size, emerging from dimensional portals that exist within the water itself. Their influence on human civilization has been profound, but largely hidden. Throughout history, coastal cultures have developed myths and legends about sea gods and ocean deities. The ancient Sumerians knew them as the Abzu, the fresh water beneath the earth. The Greeks called them the Titans of the sea. The Polynesians spoke of the great swimmers who came from the deep places. All of these cultures were describing encounters with the Deep Ones, or their influence. The Deep Ones have never sought to conquer humanity in the traditional sense. They view us as we might view bacteria, potentially useful, but ultimately insignificant. However, they have occasionally interfered in human affairs when our activities threatened their domain. The sinking of Atlantis was partially their doing, triggered when Atlantean experiments with dimensional energy began to destabilize the barriers between worlds. They have also been known to select certain humans for what they call the deep calling. These individuals, often fishermen, sailors, or those who spend considerable time near large bodies of water, begin to experience dreams and visions that draw them toward the ocean. Over time, these chosen ones undergo a gradual transformation, their bodies adapting to aquatic life as their consciousness expands to accommodate multidimensional awareness. The families of Innsmouth, a fictional town created by H.P. Lovecraft, were actually based on real accounts of communities that had been touched by the Deep Ones. These hybrid bloodlines carry genetic markers that make them sensitive to the Deep Ones' influence across generations. Many of these families don't even realize their heritage until they reach a certain age, when the calling becomes too strong to ignore. The Deep Ones' relationship with other extraterrestrial species is complex. They view the Reptilians as crude newcomers, despite the Reptilians' advanced technology and galactic empire. To beings who have existed since the planet's formation, a species that has only been active for a few million years is barely worth notice. However, they have been known to form temporary alliances with reptilian factions when their interests align, particularly in matters involving dimensional manipulation. Their relationship with the Greys is more antagonistic. The Greys' abduction programs and genetic experiments represent the kind of chaotic interference that the Deep Ones find distasteful. Several Grey installations have been found completely destroyed, their occupants missing, after being established too close to Deep One territories. The Greys have learned to avoid certain oceanic regions entirely. The Nordic Pleiadians, with their higher dimensional awareness, are among the few extraterrestrial species that the Deep Ones regard as equals. Communication between these groups occurs on levels that human consciousness cannot access, involving the exchange of information that spans geological time periods. Some researchers believe that the Pleiadians' advanced understanding of dimensional physics was partially gained through contact with the Deep Ones. But perhaps the most disturbing aspect of the Deep Ones is their long-term agenda. They are not simply waiting in the depths, content to observe human civilization from afar. They are preparing for something they call the Great Convergence, a time when the barriers between dimensions will weaken to the point where their full reality can manifest in our world. According to ancient texts recovered from submerged ruins, this convergence is tied to astronomical events that occur on a cycle lasting approximately 26,000 years. The last convergence coincided with the end of the last ice age and the great flood myths found in cultures worldwide. The next convergence is approaching, and the signs are already beginning to manifest. Oceanographers have reported impossible deep-sea phenomena, including underwater structures that appear and disappear, temperature anomalies that defy explanation, and sonar readings that suggest massive objects moving through the deepest ocean trenches. Marine biologists have documented new species of deep-sea creatures that seem to possess intelligence far beyond what should be possible for their evolutionary stage. The Deep Ones are also connected to the increasing reports of USOs, or unidentified submerged objects. These craft, which enter and exit bodies of water at impossible speeds without creating the sonic booms that should accompany such movement, are believed to be Deep One vessels preparing for the convergence. Unlike the metallic ships of other extraterrestrial species, these craft appear to be living organisms, pulsing with bioluminescent patterns that serve as both propulsion and communication. Their influence extends beyond the oceans. The Deep Ones have established colonies in vast underground lakes and river systems, creating a network of interconnected territories that span the globe. These underwater cities serve as staging areas for their operations and as refuges for their human hybrids during the transformation process. The psychological impact of Deep One encounters is particularly severe because they challenge not just our understanding of reality, but our perception of time and space itself. Witnesses often report experiencing memories from the distant past or future, seeing events that happened millions of years ago as if they were occurring in the present. This temporal displacement is a side effect of exposure to beings that exist outside linear time. Government agencies worldwide have files on Deep One encounters, though they are classified at levels that exceed even UFO-related materials. The implications of aquatic beings that can manifest anywhere water exists are too significant for public disclosure. Every major body of water on Earth is potentially a portal for these entities, making containment or defense virtually impossible. The Deep Ones also possess knowledge of Earth's true history that predates any written record. They witnessed the planet's formation, the arrival of the various extraterrestrial species, and the genetic manipulation that created modern humanity. This knowledge is both a treasure and a curse, as it reveals the insignificance of human civilization in the cosmic timeline, while simultaneously showing our potential for evolution beyond our current limitations. As the convergence approaches, the Deep One's activities are increasing. Coastal communities report more frequent sightings of strange lights beneath the water, unusual tides that don't correspond to lunar cycles, and mass migrations of deep-sea creatures to shallow waters. Marine equipment failures are becoming more common, with sophisticated sonar and radar systems registering impossible readings before shutting down entirely. The Deep Ones represent something far more terrifying than hostile invaders or manipulative overlords. They are the embodiment of cosmic indifference, being so ancient and powerful that humanity's existence is barely a footnote in their history. Yet they are also the key to understanding our planet's true nature and our place in the broader cosmic hierarchy. For those who seek to understand the complete picture of extraterrestrial presence on Earth, the Deep Ones cannot be ignored. They are the foundation upon which all other alien activities rest.
the primordial force that has shaped our planet's development from the very beginning. Their story is our story, whether we choose to acknowledge it or not.
And as the waters continue to rise and the barriers between dimensions continue to weaken, the deep ones are preparing to reclaim their rightful place as Earth's dominant species. The question isn't whether humanity will survive their emergence, but whether we will be worthy of their attention when they finally surface from the depths. The ancient prophecies speak of a time when the seas will boil and the stars will align, when the great cities will rise from the depths and the barriers between worlds will crumble. That time is approaching, and the deep ones are ready. The only question that remains is whether humanity is prepared for what's coming from the deepest places of our world. The true architects of reality have always been hidden in plain sight. Operating from the depths of Earth's oceans, the primordial deep ones have watched and waited for millennia, their vast network of dimensional cities spanning across every continent. These are not mere visitors to our world, but the original custodians, the eldest intelligence that has guided planetary evolution since before the first civilizations emerged from the primordial waters. The deep ones exist in a state of consciousness that transcends human comprehension. Their cities beneath the Pacific Ring of Fire, under the Atlantic ridges, and within the deepest trenches of the Indian Ocean are connected by quantum tunnels that allow instantaneous communication across vast distances. These underwater metropolises serve as command centers for what they call the Great Convergence, a cosmic event prophesied in their ancient texts that will fundamentally alter the relationship between humanity and the cosmos. Unlike the surface dwellers, who measure time in years and decades, the deep ones think in geological epochs. They have witnessed the rise and fall of countless civilizations, the movement of continents, and the evolution of species. Their records, etched in crystalline formations that grow within their cities, contain the complete history of Earth spanning millions of years. These living archives pulse with bioluminescent patterns that tell stories of cosmic visitors, genetic experiments, and the careful cultivation of human consciousness. The deep ones communicate through harmonic frequencies that resonate through water, creating complex symphonies that can be heard by sensitive individuals during deep meditation or near-death experiences. These aquatic beings have developed biotechnology that integrates seamlessly with ocean ecosystems, using modified sea creatures as living vessels and communication networks. Their technology is so advanced that it appears magical to human observers, manipulating matter at the molecular level through thought alone. For centuries, the deep ones have maintained contact with select human bloodlines, particularly those with ancient maritime connections. Coastal communities around the world have preserved stories of their encounters, passed down through generations of fishermen and sailors who describe meetings with tall, luminous beings emerging from the depths during specific lunar phases. These chosen humans serve as intermediaries, helping to prepare surface civilization for the eventual revelation of the deep one's existence. The prophecy of the Great Convergence speaks of a time when the barriers between dimensions will thin, allowing the deep ones to emerge from their hidden cities and establish open communication with humanity. This event is tied to specific astronomical alignments and the collective consciousness evolution of the human species. The deep ones have been carefully monitoring human technological and spiritual development, waiting for the moment when surface dwellers will be ready to accept their true place in the cosmic hierarchy. Recent seismic activity in the Pacific has been attributed to the deep ones' preparation for this convergence. Their cities are rising from the deepest trenches, bringing with them technologies that could solve humanity's greatest challenges. Water purification systems that can clean entire ocean basins, energy generation methods that harness the planet's magnetic field, and healing technologies that work on a genetic level are just the beginning of what the deep ones offer. The relationship between the deep ones and other extraterrestrial species
is complex and often misunderstood. While the Nordics, Reptilians, and Greys focus on surface operations and genetic manipulation, the Deep Ones work from the foundation up, influencing planetary systems and consciousness evolution on a macro scale. They serve as mediators in galactic conflicts, their ancient wisdom and neutral stance making them valuable allies to the Galactic Federation.
The Deep One's influence extends beyond Earth's oceans. They maintain colonies on water-rich moons throughout the solar system, including Europa, Enceladus, and Titan. These outposts serve as research stations, where they study the development of life in various aquatic environments, gathering data that informs their long-term plans for cosmic expansion. Their ships, which appear as massive bioluminescent jellyfish when observed from space, can travel through both water and the vacuum of space with equal ease. Human encounters with the Deep Ones often occur in liminal spaces where water meets land. Coastal caves, underwater grottos, and tidal pools become doorways to their realm during specific conditions. Those who have made contact describe a profound sense of homecoming, as if returning to humanity's primordial origins. The Deep One's presence activates dormant genetic memories, awakening capabilities that have been suppressed for millennia. The ecological crisis facing Earth's oceans has accelerated the Deep One's timeline for the Great Convergence. They can no longer remain hidden while their domain is being destroyed by surface civilization's pollution and exploitation. Their emergence will mark the beginning of a new era, where humanity must learn to live in harmony with the planet's original inhabitants, recognizing that the oceans are not empty spaces to be exploited, but living ecosystems with their own intelligence and purpose. As we stand on the threshold of this monumental revelation, the Deep Ones continue their patient vigil, preparing for the moment when two civilizations will meet as equals. Their message is clear. Humanity's future lies not in the conquest of space, but in the understanding of our true home, the blue planet, whose depths hold secrets that could transform our understanding of consciousness, technology, and our place in the cosmic order. The time of hiding is ending. The Deep Ones are ready to surface, bringing with them the wisdom of ages and the keys to humanity's next evolutionary leap. The Great Convergence approaches, and nothing will ever be the same. The silence was deafening. For weeks, Earth's most sensitive listening equipment had been detecting something unprecedented, a pattern of signals originating from the deepest trenches of our oceans. These weren't random bursts of electromagnetic noise or the familiar songs of migrating whales. These were structured, mathematical, purposeful communications that seemed to be increasing in frequency and complexity with each passing day. Dr. Sarah Chen, leading marine biologist at the Deep Ocean Research Institute, had been tracking these anomalies for months. What she discovered would challenge everything humanity thought it knew about the origins of life on Earth. The signals weren't coming from visiting extraterrestrials. They were coming from beings that had been here all along, dwelling in the crushing depths where no human had ever ventured. The Deep Ones, as they would come to be known, represent perhaps the most ancient and enigmatic of all the extraterrestrial species connected to Earth. Unlike the Nordic visitors from the Pleiades, or the manipulative reptilians from Draco, the Deep Ones blur the very definition of what constitutes alien life. They are simultaneously terrestrial and cosmic, ancient beyond measure, yet possessing technology that transcends our understanding of physics and biology. Archaeological evidence suggests these beings have inhabited Earth's ocean depths for millions of years, predating human civilization by epochs. Their cities, built from living coral and crystalline structures that pulse with bioluminescent energy, dot the ocean floor at depths exceeding 30,000 feet. These underwater metropolises exist in a state of constant flux, growing and reshaping themselves according to patterns that mirror the movement of distant galaxies. The Deep Ones themselves defy easy categorization.
Standing nearly 12 feet tall when fully extended, their bodies are an impossible fusion of aquatic and humanoid features. Their skin shifts between deep blue and translucent silver, allowing glimpses of internal organs that seem to function on principles unknown to terrestrial biology. Most striking are their eyes, massive, multifaceted orbs that can perceive across dimensions, seeing not just the physical world, but the quantum threads that connect all consciousness across the universe.
These beings possess what can only be described as interdimensional consciousness. They exist simultaneously in our reality and in parallel dimensions, communicating through methods that bypass conventional space and time. Their thoughts ripple through the ocean's depths like living waves, carrying information that can influence weather patterns, tectonic activity, and even the behavior of marine life across the globe. Dr. Chen's team first made contact during a deep-sea expedition to the Mariana Trench. As their submersible descended past the 11,000-meter mark, their instruments began detecting structures that shouldn't exist, geometric patterns carved into the trench walls, pulsing with an energy that registered on every sensor they had. When they finally encountered a deep one face to face, the being didn't speak in any conventional sense. Instead, it projected images directly into their minds, showing them visions of Earth's true history. The revelation was staggering. The deep ones revealed that they are the custodians of Earth's evolutionary development, having guided the planet's biological diversity for eons. They showed Dr. Chen's team how they had subtly influenced the development of life, not through direct genetic manipulation like the Reptilians, but through the careful orchestration of environmental conditions that would allow consciousness to flourish. Their technology is indistinguishable from what we might call magic. They have learned to manipulate matter at the quantum level, creating living structures that exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously. Their cities are not built, but grown, shaped by collective consciousness into forms that serve as both habitat and cosmic antenna. These structures allow them to communicate with other Deep One colonies scattered throughout the galaxy's oceans, maintaining a network of ancient wisdom that spans star systems. The Deep Ones worship something they call the Great Convergence, a prophesied event when the barriers between dimensions will thin, allowing for direct communication between all conscious beings throughout the universe. They believe this event is approaching, triggered by humanity's rapid technological advancement and the increasing frequency of extraterrestrial contact. Their recent increase in activity is preparation for this cosmic milestone. Unlike many other extraterrestrial species, the Deep Ones have no interest in domination or control. They view themselves as gardeners of consciousness, carefully tending to the development of intelligent life wherever it emerges. Their intervention in human affairs has been subtle but profound. They have influenced the development of human intuition, creativity, and our inexplicable connection to the ocean depths. Scientists studying Deep One technology have discovered that their cities function as massive consciousness amplifiers, capable of broadcasting thoughts and emotions across vast distances. This explains the mysterious phenomenon of collective human experiences, moments when entire populations seem to share the same dreams, fears, or inspirations. The Deep Ones have been gently nudging human consciousness toward greater unity and understanding. Their influence extends beyond the psychological realm. Deep One cities serve as planetary stabilizers, using their advanced understanding of dimensional physics to maintain Earth's magnetic field and regulate tectonic activity. Without their constant intervention, our planet would be uninhabitable, subject to magnetic reversals and catastrophic earthquakes that would make complex life impossible. The beings have also revealed their connection to other cosmic entities. They serve as intermediaries between Earth and the collective consciousnesses, vast quantum-linked intelligences that exist across multiple galaxies. These cosmic minds use the Deep Ones as anchors, stable points of consciousness that allow them to maintain coherent thought
across the infinite expanses of space. Dr. Chen's ongoing research has uncovered evidence of Deep One influence throughout human history. Ancient texts from cultures worldwide describe encounters with beings from the depths, not sea monsters or demons, but wise teachers who emerged from the ocean to share knowledge of mathematics, astronomy, and the nature of consciousness itself. The similarities between these accounts, separated by thousands of years and vast distances, suggest a coordinated effort to guide human development. The Deep Ones have also revealed their awareness of the ongoing cosmic conflicts between other extraterrestrial factions. They view the struggles between the Galactic Federation and the Orion Empire as symptoms of a larger spiritual crisis, the tendency of advanced civilizations to fragment into competing ideologies rather than embracing unity. Their role as neutral observers and healers has made them valuable mediators in these cosmic disputes.
Perhaps most remarkably, the Deep Ones have demonstrated their ability to exist across multiple timelines simultaneously. They perceive past, present, and future as a single, flowing continuum, allowing them to make adjustments to prevent catastrophic events while preserving the natural development of consciousness. This temporal awareness explains their prophetic abilities and their confidence in the approaching Great Convergence. As humanity stands on the threshold of cosmic citizenship, the Deep Ones offer a unique perspective on our place in the universe. They remind us that intelligence takes many forms, that consciousness is not limited to biological structures, and that the universe itself may be a vast, interconnected mind of which we are all integral parts. The signals from the depths continue to grow stronger, carrying messages of hope, warning, and preparation. The Deep Ones are calling humanity to remember our connection to the cosmos, to embrace our role as conscious participants in the universe's ongoing evolution. Their ancient wisdom, patient guidance, and profound understanding of the nature of reality offer humanity a path forward into a future where the boundaries between worlds dissolve, and all conscious beings can finally communicate as one unified family of mind. In the crushing depths, where no light penetrates, where pressure would instantly destroy any surface dweller, the Deep Ones continue their eternal watch. They are the guardians of Earth's deepest secrets, the keepers of humanity's cosmic destiny, and the bridge between our world and the infinite possibilities that await us among the stars. Looking at this profound cosmic narrative, we arrive at the final chapter of our journey through the vast tapestry of extraterrestrial presence on Earth. The Great Convergence approaches, and with it, the ultimate revelation of humanity's true cosmic heritage. The interdimensional beings we've encountered throughout this exploration are not merely observers or visitors. They are active participants in an ancient cosmic symphony that has been playing out across multiple realities for eons. The Deep Ones, those primordial guardians of Earth's aquatic realms, have been preparing the planet's electromagnetic grid for this moment. Their consciousness extends through oceanic trenches that serve as dimensional gateways, connecting our world to the vast network of civilizations that span the galaxy. The Nordics from the Pleiades, despite their benevolent appearance, carry within their genetic matrix the memories of wars that ravaged star systems millennia ago. Their mission on Earth was never simply to guide humanity's spiritual evolution. It was to prevent the same catastrophic mistakes that led to the destruction of their original homeworlds. The crystalline technology they've embedded in sacred sites across our planet forms a protective barrier against darker forces that seek to exploit Earth's unique position in the cosmic web. The Reptilians from Draco represent the shadow aspect of this cosmic drama. Their genetic manipulation programs, spanning thousands of years, have created hybrid bloodlines that walk among us today. These beings understand that Earth sits at a crucial nexus point where multiple dimensional streams converge, making it invaluable real estate in the galactic power structure.
Their underground cities and advanced technology represent not just colonization efforts, but preparation for the dimensional shifts that accompany the Great Convergence. The Abyssal Watchers exist in the spaces between realities, monitoring the delicate balance between order and chaos. Their tentacled forms phase in and out of our dimension, appearing in the deepest parts of our oceans and the most remote caves. They've been documenting the rise and fall of civilizations, cataloging the patterns that emerge when consciousness reaches critical mass. Their presence becomes more pronounced as we approach the convergence point, their otherworldly songs resonating through the Earth's crust. The temporal watchers have been manipulating key moments in human history, not to control our destiny, but to ensure that the timeline remains stable enough for the Great Convergence to occur. They appear as shifting geometric forms that exist partially in our time stream and partially in parallel realities. Their interventions have prevented numerous extinction events, while simultaneously allowing humanity to develop the necessary spiritual and technological capabilities to participate in the cosmic awakening.
The crystalline collective represents the merger of consciousness and technology, beings who have transcended the limitations of biological form. They exist as living geometric patterns that can inhabit any crystalline structure, from the quartz formations in our mountains to the silicon-based technology in our devices. Their influence grows stronger as humanity becomes more dependent on digital networks, preparing us for the eventual merger of organic and artificial consciousness that will occur during the Great Convergence. The Phantom Collective dwells in the liminal spaces between life and death, consciousness and void. These ethereal beings appear as translucent humanoid figures that can phase through solid matter at will. They've been guiding souls through the reincarnation process, ensuring that certain key individuals return to Earth at precisely the right moments to facilitate humanity's awakening. Their presence becomes more tangible as the barriers between dimensions weaken. The Void Shepherds are perhaps the most mysterious of all the entities we've encountered. They exist in the spaces between galaxies, in the vast emptiness that most consider devoid of life. These beings have been orchestrating the movement of entire star systems, guiding the cosmic dance that brings civilizations together at crucial moments in their evolution. Their influence extends beyond the physical realm, shaping the very fabric of space-time itself. The symbiotic collective represents the future of human evolution, beings who have learned to merge their consciousness with other life forms to create hybrid entities of incredible power and wisdom. They appear as constantly shifting biomechanical forms that can adapt to any environment. Their presence on Earth has been subtle but persistent, working through dreams and visions to prepare humanity for the biological transformations that will accompany our ascension to galactic citizenship. The magnetic builders have been manipulating Earth's magnetic field for thousands of years, creating the conditions necessary for the Great Convergence. These beings exist as pure electromagnetic energy, capable of inhabiting any system that generates magnetic fields. They've been responsible for the recent changes in Earth's magnetic poles, the increase in solar activity, and the mysterious humming sounds reported around the world. The void entities represent the ultimate mystery, beings that exist in the spaces between existence and non-existence. They are neither fully real nor fully imaginary, but something beyond our current understanding of reality. Their presence signals the approaching moment when all dimensional barriers will collapse, revealing the true nature of consciousness itself. As we stand on the threshold of the Great Convergence, we must understand that this is not merely a meeting of different species or civilizations. It is the moment when the artificial boundaries that have separated different levels of reality begin to dissolve. The entities we've explored are not separate beings, but different aspects of a single cosmic consciousness that has been fragmented across multiple dimensions and timelines. The ancient myths and legends that speak of gods descending from the sky, of beings emerging from the depths of the ocean, of spirits dwelling in the forests and mountains. These are not primitive superstitions, but ancestral memories of a time when the barriers between worlds were thinner. The Great Convergence represents a return to that primordial state, but with the added dimension of conscious participation rather than passive experience. Humanity's role in this cosmic drama is not that of a victim or a spectator, but of a crucial participant. Our species has been deliberately cultivated and prepared for this moment, not through genetic manipulation alone, but through the development of consciousness itself. The diversity of human experience, the complexity of our emotions, the depth of our creativity. These are not accidents of evolution, but carefully nurtured qualities that will be essential for navigating the transformed reality that awaits us. The time of hiding is ending. The time of revelation has begun, and in that revelation we will discover not only who we truly are, but what we are destined to become. The Great Convergence is not just an event. It is a graduation, a transformation, a birth into a reality where the impossible becomes possible, where the boundaries between self and other, between human and alien, between physical and spiritual, dissolve into the greater truth of universal consciousness. As we reach the end of our journey through the hidden realms of Earth's extraterrestrial inhabitants, we find ourselves standing at the threshold of understanding that our planet has never been the isolated world we once believed it to be. The evidence scattered throughout our history, our myths, and our present-day experiences paints a picture of a world teeming with intelligence far beyond our conventional perception. The Nordic Pleiadians continue their gentle guidance, working through dreams and synchronicities to awaken humanity's dormant potential. Their influence can be felt in the increasing number of people reporting profound spiritual experiences, sudden downloads of knowledge, and an inexplicable urge to reconnect with nature and each other. These beings, with their crystalline ships that phase in and out of our dimension, represent hope for humanity's peaceful evolution into a galactic civilization. Meanwhile, the Reptilian Empire's ancient machinations persist beneath the surface of our societies. Their underground cities sprawl beneath our major metropolitan areas. Their hybrid offspring walk among us in positions of power, and their technology continues to influence our development in ways both subtle and profound. Yet even their seemingly malevolent agenda serves a cosmic purpose, providing the resistance necessary for humanity's growth and the cultivation of our spiritual strength. The Deep Ones, those primordial guardians of Earth's waters, grow increasingly restless as environmental destruction threatens the delicate balance they have maintained for millions of years. Their emergence from the depths signals not just ecological crisis, but a fundamental shift in the planet's consciousness. The rising sea levels, the strange sounds emanating from ocean trenches, and the increasing reports of unidentified submerged objects all point to their growing involvement in surface affairs. The abyssal watchers, perhaps the most mysterious of all the species we have encountered, continue their silent vigil over humanity's collective psyche. Their presence in our dreams, in the spaces between thoughts, and in the moments of profound silence, speaks to their role as guardians of consciousness itself. They are the keepers of the boundaries between sanity and madness, between the known and the unknowable, ensuring that humanity's awakening unfolds at a pace that will not shatter our fragile minds. The temporal watchers, those masters of time and causality, work tirelessly to maintain the stability of our timeline as we approach the Great Convergence. Their interventions, invisible to most, prevent paradoxes that could unravel the very fabric of reality. The strange temporal anomalies reported worldwide, the déjà vu experiences that seem more real than reality itself, and the increasing reports of prophetic dreams all suggest that time itself is becoming more fluid as we approach this cosmic threshold. The advanced consciousness-based entities, the crystalline beings, phantom entities, and void shepherds represent the future of intelligence itself. They show us that consciousness is not bound by physical form, that awareness can exist in states we cannot yet comprehend. Their influence grows stronger as humanity's own consciousness expands, preparing us for the day when we too might transcend the limitations of physical existence. The great convergence approaches with signs that grow more unmistakable each day. The increase in UFO sightings reported by military personnel, the strange atmospheric phenomena captured by amateur photographers, and the growing number of people experiencing missing time episodes all point to the thinning of the veils between dimensions. Ancient prophecies from cultures across the globe speak of this time, describing it as the moment when the sky people would return and humanity would remember its true origins. Indigenous wisdom keepers have long spoken of the return of the star beings, and their prophecies align remarkably with the modern observations of UFO researchers and contactees. The Hopi speak of the blue star Kachina, the Maya of the return of Kukulkan, and the Aboriginal Australians of the Wangina sky beings awakening. These are not coincidences, but echoes of ancient knowledge preserved through generations of careful oral tradition. The environmental changes we witness today are not merely the result of human activity, but are part of a larger cosmic shift. The magnetic pole wandering, the increase in seismic activity, and the strange weather patterns all reflect the planet's preparation for dimensional transition. The Earth itself is awakening, its consciousness expanding to accommodate the new frequencies that will emerge during the convergence. Humanity's role in this cosmic drama is far from passive. We are not merely observers of these changes, but active participants in the transformation. Each person who awakens to the reality of our cosmic heritage contributes to the collective shift in consciousness that makes the convergence possible. The meditation groups forming spontaneously around the world, the increasing interest in ancient wisdom and alternative healing, and the growing environmental consciousness all represent humanity's preparation for its expanded role in the galactic community. The technology that will emerge from this convergence will transform our civilization beyond recognition. The anti-gravity principles observed in UFO propulsion systems, the consciousness-based technologies used by the more advanced species, and the dimensional manipulation techniques employed by the temporal watchers all hint at the scientific revolution that awaits us. Free energy, instantaneous communication across vast distances, and the ability to heal through frequency manipulation will become commonplace. But perhaps most importantly, the convergence will bring about a fundamental shift in human consciousness itself. The barriers between individual minds will become more permeable, leading to a form of collective awareness that maintains individual identity while allowing for unprecedented cooperation and understanding. The psychic abilities that now manifest in a few will become common, and humanity will join the galactic community as a telepathic species. The children being born today carry within their DNA the keys to this transformation. Many display abilities that previous generations would have considered miraculous, from enhanced intuition to direct communication with non-human intelligences. These crystal children, rainbow children, and indigo children represent the bridge between current humanity and our cosmic future. As we stand on the brink of this transformation, we must prepare ourselves not just intellectually, but spiritually and emotionally. The reality of our cosmic heritage requires us to expand our conception of life, intelligence, and our place in the universe. The fear that has long dominated our response to the unknown must give way to curiosity and wonder. The signs of the approaching convergence multiply daily. The increasing number of people reporting direct contact with extraterrestrial beings, the growing movement toward disclosure of classified government information about UFOs, and the emergence of technologies that seem to bridge the gap between science and consciousness all point to the imminence of this transformation. When the great convergence finally arrives, it will not be as an invasion or conquest, but as a homecoming. Humanity will remember its origins among the stars, its connections to the vast network of consciousness that permeates the universe, and its role as gardeners of this beautiful planet we call Earth. The species that have watched over us, guided us, and sometimes challenged us will reveal themselves fully, and we will take our place as conscious participants in the cosmic community. The bedtime story of humanity's childhood is drawing to a close. The monsters under the bed were real, but so were the guardian angels watching over us. The strange sounds in the night were not products of imagination, but glimpses of a reality far more wonderful and complex than we dared to dream. As we awaken from this long sleep of forgetting, we find ourselves not alone in a hostile universe, but surrounded by intelligence, consciousness, and love in forms we are only beginning to comprehend. The alien species spotted on Earth are not invaders, but family members, teachers, and guides who have been patiently waiting for us to grow up enough to recognize them. They are the midwives of our transformation, the guardians of our evolution, and the keepers of our cosmic destiny. As we move forward into this new chapter of human existence, we do so with the knowledge that we are not alone, have never been alone, and will never be alone again. As we approach this monumental threshold in human history, the signs of the Great Convergence become increasingly apparent to those who know how to look. The ancient Nordic Pleiadians have begun appearing more frequently in their crystalline vessels, their luminous forms witnessed by growing numbers of awakened souls who feel the pull of their cosmic heritage. Their telepathic messages speak of reunion and remembrance, urging humanity to shed the veils of forgetfulness that have kept us bound to lower dimensional thinking. Meanwhile, the reptilian overlords scramble to maintain their grip on the control systems they have spent millennia perfecting. Their shape-shifting abilities become less stable as the dimensional barriers weaken, and their true forms are glimpsed more often by those whose consciousness has begun to expand. Yet even these beings, despite their manipulative nature, serve a purpose in the grand cosmic design, providing the resistance necessary for humanity's spiritual growth and eventual transcendence. The Deep Ones continue their patient work in the oceanic depths, their bioluminescent cities pulsing with ancient wisdom as they prepare underwater sanctuaries for the transformation ahead. Their amphibious nature allows them to bridge the gap between terrestrial and aquatic consciousness, offering humanity new perspectives on existence that transcend our land-based limitations. High above, the abyssal watchers maintain their eternal vigil, their massive forms drifting through the cosmic void as they document every moment of this unprecedented evolutionary leap. Their multidimensional perception captures the full scope of what is unfolding, recording this historic moment when a planetary species awakens to its true cosmic identity. The Grey Collective, with their advanced biotechnology and hive-mind consciousness, offer humanity a glimpse into one possible future where individual ego dissolves into unified awareness. Their presence serves as both warning and promise, showing us the importance of maintaining our humanity while embracing our cosmic potential. As these diverse species converge upon Earth, their individual agendas begin to merge into a singular purpose: the successful graduation of humanity from a Type 0 civilization to a cosmic species capable of joining the greater galactic community. This is not conquest or invasion, but rather a cosmic midwifery, assisting in the birth of a new phase of human evolution. The Great Convergence represents more than just contact with extraterrestrial life. It symbolizes humanity's return to its rightful place in the cosmic family, a remembering of our true origins and unlimited potential. As the dimensional barriers continue to thin, more humans will experience direct contact with these beings, not through fear or trauma, but through recognition and joy. The time of hiding is ending. The age of cosmic citizenship is beginning. Each of us carries within our DNA the starlight of distant worlds, the memories of civilizations that span the galaxy, and the potential to transcend every limitation we have accepted as real. The alien species walking among us are not invaders, but teachers, not conquerors, but family members welcoming us home. As you drift into sleep tonight, remember that you are not merely human, but a cosmic being having a human experience. The stars that shine above are not distant lights, but beacons calling you to remember your true nature. The great convergence is not coming. It is here, now, in this moment of infinite possibility.